cutting and the cooking. You know, I was demonstrating the machine yesterday, and I had a lady order 2 of them from me. She got one for herself. I picked up a birthday gift for one of her daughters, and I asked her what impressed her the most about it. She said the Parmesan cheese. And what she was telling me was she'd go down to the store, and she'd buy her Parmesan, that little green bottle. Anybody here familiar with the green bottle? It's the one they charge you $3, and they give you 3 ounces of cheese. And that's about $16 a pound that we pay for the ends and leftovers. If you buy it in a brick like that, that'll run you about $4 to $6 a pound, but it's a lot fresher and it'll taste better. So now you can top a salad, a pizza, a pasta, or a soup with that. But if you like to bake, around the holiday season, take pumpkin butternut squash and cut them into sections like I've done here. Leave the skin on, hold the skin away from the blade. It not only chops the butternut squash, but it does the hard work of peeling it too. So now you throw that part away, you take all of this, and instead of making it in an oven, you can cook it in these pans waterless on low heat. It only takes 12 minutes when it gets cut up that fine. Cream it together with a fork, add a little cinnamon, nutmeg, and brown sugar in there, and you got a homemade pie filling that's going to melt right in your mouth. Now, if you got a few young kids at home that don't like to eat their vegetables or muskrat, take a carrot, run it through the #1 blade, place that between 2 slices of whole wheat bread, add a little bit of honey, a little bit of peanut butter on top of that. Kids go crazy for that. Not when I was a kid, but you can try it on your kids. Now you can use this for carrot, raisin salads, carrot cakes. We're going to use it as a salad topping a little bit later on in the show. Has anybody here ever noticed that when you eat a celery stick, that a lot of times you get those tough, stringy fibers on the back that get stuck between your teeth and gums? So if you hold the fibers away from the blade, it'll not only chop the celery for, say, egg salad sandwiches or tuna fish, but it de-strings it for you all in that same easy operation. Welcome to the show, ladies. And did you notice there's no juice dripping from the machine? It doesn't crush your food, it cuts it. Would you believe that that tiny little stalk of celery is going to hold this much juice? Now here's what they say. They say the juice of the vegetable is the blood of the vegetable. That's where all the flavor is. And they also say that when you peel and when we boil vegetables today in water, that's when we spoil them. Everybody here know that the United States today is the best fed country in the world, but we're on the list for being one of the most undernourished. How do we accomplish both of those feats? You know, we have a tendency to eat a lot of the right foods, but prepare them the wrong way. And they call us a junk food, fast food nation because we have a tendency to go out to eat a little bit too much. And you know how you figure that one out? If you ask a young kid today in America where their favorite restaurant to eat, what's the #1 answer? McDonald's. What's the #1 growing disease in our young kids in America? Obesity. And it's really not the problem, it's what it's leading to. They say kids are getting diabetes and high cholesterol under the age of 10. And that's really where the problem is. Now think about that, under the age of 10. Sir, when you were 10 years old, was diabetes in your vocabulary?
Actually, my mom had it.
Your mom had it, okay. But as a kid, it wasn't something that we thought about.
Oh, no, I never.
Even thought about even contracting. But, you know, it goes back to an old theory. Let's see if you can finish this statement. You are
what you eat.
Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to show you how to make a fried chicken dinner in 12 minutes that's 300 calories and 6 grams of fat. We're going to show you how to cook your vegetables to get the most out of them. And the first thing on the menu today is carrots. Don't peel them. Brush them with a good vegetable brush. The nutrients are near the peel. Once you get them clean, just run them through your #4 or your #5 blade. I like using the #4 blade. Now this is very important because vegetables that cut evenly are going to cook evenly. So if you already have a really good set of waterless cookware at home, but you're not using it properly, get yourself one of these machines here today to do your basic cuts. Now, if you're on a budget, you have to eat carrots 5 nights a week. That's why we send you 5 blades, so you can make them look different every night of the week. Once we get the vegetables cut, we're ready to cook. And I want you to watch closely at what I'm about to do here today. We're going to do something that I know some of you have never seen done before. We're going to take this 1.5 quart saucepan, and we're going to cook about 1 pound of carrots. We're going to add the #1 cancer-fighting vegetable that I recommend you increase or add to your diet, and that's broccoli. Some corn on the cob because it tastes good. We're going to add a little red pepper in there. Does anybody here like red peppers? Any fans of red peppers? You guys know there's more vitamin C in a red pepper than there is in orange. So people who want to increase vitamin C in their diet, a great way to do it is chop these up, put them in salads and stir fries. I like to do stuffed red peppers instead of doing stuffed green peppers. Just changes up the flavor, changes the look of it a little bit. And we're going to add a little cabbage to the pan. So all 5 vegetables are going to cook together in the same pan. But there's no interchanging of colors or flavors between these foods. You don't even smell them cooking. Now, the only thing you have to do with fresh vegetables that we buy at a local store. Does anybody here shop at Schnucks? We shop at Schnucks. What do they do all day to the vegetables while they sit on the shelf? Spray them with water. If they don't do that, they dry out. Well, what we do is we bring them home from the store and we put them in the refrigerator for 1 or 2 days. They start to dry out in the refrigerator, so the first thing you want to do is shock them back to life, rinse them with water, and then turn around and pour the water right back off. So just the moisture that clings to them, that's all you cook with. And that's what they call waterless cooking. Now, I had a lady come up to me earlier. She says, I do the same thing at home. She says, I leave the water in the pan, put the vegetables up on a rack. She says, I steam them to get the same results. And I told her that's like the egg that's almost fresh, where you're going down the right road, but you're on the wrong track. If you leave the water in the pan, you have to go above boiling temperature to cook the food. Once you go above boiling temperature, you create steam. And that's where you smell your food cooking in the kitchen. It's kind of like when you cook cabbage. Has anybody here ever cooked cabbage? Did half the neighborhood know what you have for dinner? And you know what you smell in the air? You're smelling phosphorus and magnesium and potassium and the iron. That's the good stuff out of the cabbage. The only thing left in the cabbage when we're done cooking it is the burp and the gas. I didn't write the joke, so just help me out here a little. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this on a medium-low heat. We're going to build the heat up to 180 degrees inside the pan. Now, 180 degrees is optimal temperature for cooking vegetables, where we're not destroying nutrients when we start to get above 212 degrees at boiling temperature, but it's high enough that we can kill off the bacteria left on the food, if there's any left on there. But it's an optimal temperature for cooking the vegetables. When it hits 180 degrees, we're going to shut the valve, we're going to turn the burner off after 6 minutes and take the pan off the burner. The pans hold the heat and continue to cook the food for us. So all you got to do is build the heat up, and that pan will hold all the heat for us and continue to cook the food. You know what that means? If you have to have your burner on for half the time, how much energy are you saving? Half the energy that you normally would use. So now we're going to put that down. We're going to plug that hole in our energy budget. Let's move across the table, and let's show you how to fry without oil. Now the pan that I'm first came out was a lot of the basic stuff. On top of the list was blueberries, tomatoes, spinach, broccoli, walnuts, salmon, sweet potatoes, kale. They want you to eat cabbage raw 2 to 3 times a week because it helps you fight colon cancer. By the way, ladies, dark chocolate got an honorable mention on the first list. So let's add more of that into our diet. Now, cucumbers are good, but don't peel them. Has anybody here ever eaten a peeled cucumber? You ever get that one that'll burp back up on you 10 minutes later? That's because it comes up looking for the peel you took off. And see, inside the peel of the cucumber is a natural digestive enzyme that's called pepsin. And without the pepsin in the peel of the cucumber, that's why it's harder for our body to digest it naturally. That's why you want to leave it on. Now, if you're worried about the dirt and the wax on the outside of the